Welcome to School of Hard Thoughts podcast. This is number 19. My name is Green. I'm loving the fact that you're here today, and let me get off his mic and let him introduce himself.
Welcome to the show. I'm Adrian Davis. So we've been just unbelievably lucky to have the amount of quality guests that we've been having.
Hashtag blessed.
Does that mean I'm quality too?
Oh, yeah.
Of utmost quality.
And we're about to lean into another quality guest, actor, stuntman, writer, Renaissance man, Mr. Alexander Folk.
And clap, 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 clap. You notice I'm not actually clapping this time.
He knows not to actually
He
clap.
hates that.
Welcome to the show, sir.
It is totally my pleasure. I am certainly. I love some of those words you said there. even Renaissance.
I'm full of words, trust me. So we're gonna.
He also writes resumes too, if you maybe
At 72, I feel like a Renaissance man.
72?
You are not 72.
72.
I-
Look me up on
Fantastic.
IMDb.com.
Oh, we have.
May 30th, 1946.
Dang, man.
Amen to that.
Oh, hey.
So we're gonna start this like we always start.
Okay.
Start this. Who's Alexander?
Well, good question. Sometimes I'm trying to figure that out myself. But hey, I'm an actor, been born in Los Angeles, and graduated from high school in 1964 and moved 13 miles northwest into Hollywood and stayed in the Hollywood for 50 years.
Dang.
Did movies, did extra work, stunt work, acting work, and I even directed a short film.
Cool.
Oh, well, we're definitely gonna dive into all that.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Now, do you still live in LA?
No, I got my pension and Social Security as an actor and a stuntman in Hollywood and moved to Tucson to be close to my
So
daughter.
you had a SAG card.
Yes, since 1974.
That's
got
awesome.
my SAG card in a movie called Lepke with Tony Curtis.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
For our audience that doesn't necessarily understand, what exactly do you have to do? SAG, of course, is the Screen Actors Guild.
Yes.
That's the union.
Yes.
What exactly do you have to do to get into SAG?
Okay, now when I got in, I don't know if things have changed. You either have to get a part in a Screen Actors Guild movie, a union film, and you can't get a part in the film unless you have a SAG card.
Right.
So it's a catch-22. Or now I understand for extras, if you do non-union extra work, you could get 3 SAG vouchers. And how you get a SAG voucher is you're on the set as an extra, as a non-union extra, but a SAG extra doesn't show up. So they'll give his SAG voucher to one of the extras.
Oh, wow.
And then when you get 3 of those SAG vouchers, you're eligible to join.
Good advice for all the Uber Eats drivers out there. And if you want another gig, get your SAG card. Get some vouchers out there.
Do that extra work.
Exactly.
I know. I've always heard something about having to have a line.
Yes.
And once, like, as soon as you have a line in
Yes.
the movie, that's it.
That's it.
You can apply for your SAG card and you got it.
If you just say,
And that's it. That's a line. Yeah.
if it's recorded, it's on camera, you're there.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it. Is
Yeah.
several words in Japanese.
Hi.
Oh, ha!
It
Hi.
depends on how you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You say arigato.
And since my
Yes.
since my sister's Japanese, I'm not being racist.
Yeah, that's the caveat. That washes
I
it
know.
all clean.
I got plenty of Japanese friends.
Yeah.
Sometimes getting that line can be amazing. I actually auditioned for a film years ago. They called me in and I got the lines. I get there and they said, they gave me the lines when I got there. And the lady said, do you need some time? I said, yeah, let me have some time to go over the script.
Sure.
So I had 2 pages. And I walked outside the room and let's say I was reading for Joe.
Sure.
I walked outside, I'm looking at the pages, I'm looking for Joe's line. I turned to the next page, I'm looking on the side of the paper for
Right.
Joe's line. I look at the bottom, almost the bottom of the second page, and Joe's line was, oh.
So there were probably more camera and screen directions
Exactly.
in your 2 pages than what you actually had to say.
Joe was in the script. Joe was at this meeting, and somebody said something, and Joe just said, "Oh."
And it took you several hours of developing this character
Yes.
backstory
Yes.
before rolling.
So we're definitely want to go over your history, but we have plenty of time, and I like to. I've noticed that I want to catch things when I think of them.
Oh,
because if I
please.
don't, they're
Oh yeah, big time.
So, actors often talk about process.
Process.
Is that?
We got James Lipton over here.
Yeah, well,
Damn.
well, I mean, when you see the Hollywood actors and they're movie stars,
Sure,
they
sure.
talk about process and their training. What kind of training did you have? Do you have a process, or is that all bullshit?
Well, to be honest with you, I have heard that you really don't have to have acting classes, but it's a really good idea. But I worked on Even Steven with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I talked to his dad. He told me Shia LaBeouf never had an acting class in his life.
Yeah.
So some people are born
and he's
to
just
do
talented.
what
Yeah,
they
he's just
do.
super
Well, he's certainly a character.
Yes.
The kid's got
To say the
personality.
least.
The
To
kid's
say
got
the least.
personality.
But for myself, I would say yes, do training. And my process is, when I get a part, I go over every word, every line, because what I'm saying, I have to believe it. I have to know what that word means.
Right.
If you're reading a script, you don't know what that word means, look it up. Do research on that word. What does that word mean? How am I going to say it? How is this character saying it?
And I would imagine not only what the word means in the dictionary definition, but what the word means as the writer meant it.
Yes, and sometimes the writer will mean something, but the actor sees it a different way.
It's an interpretation.
Yes, and the actor has to interpret what he's reading.
I got
and
you.
what he's doing, and more. And I wanted to say more often than not, but I would just say sometimes the actor, the director, and everybody will have something in mind. Then you'll do something, and they go, "Oh, wait a minute, no, that works better."
Right.
So I would advise any actor, actress, or anybody want to go into this business, when you read for something, make up your mind about how you are going to do this. What you think that it's written on the page, what you think they mean, and interpret it the way you would interpret it.
And then the director ends up being the
Yes.
gatekeeper
Yes.
of that relationship between what the writer meant and what the
Absolutely.
actor performs.
And if you do it wrong, the director may say, "Hey, that was good, but can you do it like this or tone it down or whatever?" But he's the gatekeeper, but you have to do what you do for you and how you feel.
Now, how much of that comes through? Sorry about that. I'm going to do some technical work real quick. I'm union. I was on break. I was on break.
I saw
I
him
had to
touch
move.
Nobody
that-
else can touch
I
that
saw him
mic.
touch that mic. I hope
Don't
you are
touch that
union.
mic.
I hope you are union.
I got to split. I got a 15-minute required break coming up. But
I love this song.
so. No, you're talking about what it sounds like to me. It translates as you have to be confident in your interpretation of said role.
Absolutely.
How much is that coming through in auditions? When you audition somewhere, I mean, because that's pretty much what would be considered like a cold read. You've never seen the script.
Absolutely.
You've never seen nothing. So how do you prepare for an audition?
Well, when I get that part,
Because it's not like you have time to see the script and it's like, all right, read this.
okay,
Go.
now as a union, as a Screen Actors Guild member, here again things change. But the way I understand it is, as a Screen Actors Guild, they have to give you, whenever possible, it doesn't happen all the time, but whenever possible, they have to give you the part in the script that you're going to be reading.
And they call them sides.
Yeah,
right?
sides.
Yeah.
He knows.
He might be an actor.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
didn't
I've
wanna
only
s-
known him for a couple of years.
Yeah. I didn't want to say sides because I didn't think
No, that's
the public
okay.
would know,
And
but the sides.
It's
yes.
about learning. So
Exactly. Absolutely. So they have to give you the sides 24 hours ahead.
Oh, really?
And,
Oh, okay.
As the Screen Actors Guild said, then you should have time to go over it, but it doesn't always happen like that because sometimes they are still writing the script
Right.
or changing it, and when you come in, they will say, "Oh, here, can you go outside?"
And that's what they
and
call
read?"
a cold read.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me with my.
Now, a lot of
old-
times with auditions, what I
Does it get much colder than
understand
that?
is what I understand is sometimes they're looking for a certain interpretation,
Yes.
and they're not going to tell you that because
Right.
they want to see it.
Absolutely.
So you come in and you do it your way, and maybe your way is amazing, but it's not what they're looking for. So they're like, "We'll call you."
Well,
Yeah,
they
you
keep
know
you
what
in the
that
pocket.
means.
Yes.
Well, and they probably do keep you in their pocket because they're like, well, he wasn't right for this, but we got something coming down the pipe in 4 weeks. Let's give him a call. We both really want to be actors, as you can tell. We've been
Sounds
doing.
like
He
with
might
this
be
word
one.
sides
He
and all
might
this
be
stuff.
one.
I'm going to.
Are you sure you didn't see him on NYPD Blue?
I know.
I sure did invite people to do.
Okay, very, very, very small disclaimer. I have taken acting classes and I've always been interested in it.
See?
I've just never had the balls to actually do it.
It's cojones, man.
2 plays in high school, that's it.
Just for everybody's information, I'm doing a Western in Tucson here in
I'm in.
December. And, no, go to Chuck Williams, he owns Avondale Pictures
Okay.
here in Tucson.
Okay.
And he has 2 films he's already done called, the 2 films he has, Shake Up the World. And
Okay.
Amazed by You.
Amazed
Chuck
by You.
Williams, and it's Avondale Pictures.
Okay.
And we are doing a Western in December. They're writing the script now, and they are looking for people, actually investors and people to be extras and things like that. Avondale Pictures, and the Western is called The Righteous 12.
The Righteous
The
12.
Righteous 12. Look it up.
So be on the lookout for that.
Avondale Pictures, AvondalePictures.com has all the information on it. Chuck Williams is the director and owner of Avondale Pictures.
EP,
Wonderful man.
executive producer kind of guy, or maybe not. No, that you were saying they're looking for investors
They're
and
looking
stuff.
for putting it together.
I got a crisp sawbuck ready for him right
Yeah,
now.
hey, go for it. Do it. Do it.
So it sounds like
Love you, Chuck.
it sounds, yeah, we do too, and we'll work for scale.
Most people are.
Exactly. So it sounds like you've not just done one aspect of stuff in front of the camera. It sounds like you've really worked behind the camera. You were talking about being a stuntman,
Yes.
extras and stuff like that.
Yes.
What kind of venue, okay, whether it's a speaking role, a extra role, or a stuntman role, which one of those requires most of your time? Like, which one of those is the longest day?
That's a good question. Well, I directed a short film. Now that requires a lot in the day.
Okay.
Because
That's true.
An actor, you may have you have a part, but then they may have 15 other actors that they're working with, and they won't get to you till maybe end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, and that's the same way with stunt work. You may come in and ready to jump off a building, but that scene doesn't come till 6 o'clock in the evening.
Right, and
Gotcha.
you've been there since 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's that whole thing about, I don't know if I know you've heard hurry up and wait.
Oh, yeah.
That
I was in the
is-
Army, so I know all
Oh
about
yeah,
it. Hurry up and wait.
and it is so true. But it's so. What I think probably, like I said, I only directed a short film, but I think directing takes up most of the day. Now, as far as preparation, well, I guess all of it, directing and everything takes up preparation. But for me, what I have been doing, my preparation would be as an actor, depending on the part. You go over the part, you do the lines. Let's say you have a monologue. Now, my procedure for learning a monologue, I'll take, say, the first paragraph. Go over the first paragraph, get it down, go over it and over and over it till I have that down. Then I'll add the second portion.
It sounds like you compartmentalize.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love you. His words.
We love you too, man.
He finishes my words that I wanted to say. He comes up with the better
His
words.
vernacular is spectacular, I tell
Much
you.
better words than I could come
You're
up
a
with.
poet and you didn't know it.
I love this.
That's what I'm saying. I used to do radio for a stuffy station here at FCC. This is so much more fun. I can't tell you how appreciative I am
It's
of
fun,
Ace bringing me in.
fun. Now that Daddy took the tea. Hey, now you older people will know what that means.
I'm old enough to know that song.
I don't mind the Beach Boys.
Reach
We got it. So you've been doing this a while. Is this something that when you were in school, you were watching the silver screen or something like that? Were you watching people and be like, I want to do that, and I only live, a couple miles away? Or was there somebody in your family? Like, what was your influence leading up to this career?
Or did you just happen to wander on a lot?
Yeah, you just wander in there and said, like, hey man, jump off a building, why don't you?
I almost slept outside the lot to be there, but let me tell you, I am so glad you asked that question. How I became to want to be an actor. I'm 72 years old, and I found
We can
out
subtract 20 if you want to.
I was 12 years old, and my
Wow.
father made me do a play at my church in Los Angeles.
Okay.
First AME church in Los Angeles. He made me do a play. I was 12 years old. And what happened was the elders of the church came to me at 12 and they said, Alexander, we think you'd be good in this play. I was 12 years old. I'm running around having fun.
Sure.
I didn't want to do no play. I told him, no, I don't want to do the play.
Want to focus?
So that, I want to focus. The elders of the church said, okay. Then they went to my dad.
Then it's over. It's over.
It was totally over.
They're like, okay, son, yeah, sure, you don't want to be in the play. Okay.
When dad says something,
Yeah.
if he has a dream about saying something, you better do
happening.
it before
Yeah.
he says it. I don't know what the parents are doing today, but in my era,
They're not
whatever.
doing much.
Anyway, my dad came to me, and the elders came to my dad, and my dad said, he'll do it. My dad came to me and said, Alexander, you're going to do the play. Oh, yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
you
Yes,
got
sir.
it.
So, make a long story short.
No,
here's-
make a long
Oh,
story
yeah,
long.
make it longer.
Well, okay. Well, when I did the play, here's this 12-year-old kid that at the time couldn't spell girls. I did, at 12 years old, you think girls are supposed to throw spitballs at them, chase them around the schoolyard.
Sure.
I didn't know what girls were about.
Yeah.
I knew I liked being around them, but I don't
Something
know
about them pheromones. I don't know. I need to be next to him for some reason.
Tell me about it, buddy. But anyway, so here's a 12-year-old kid who didn't know anything about girls. I did this play. I'll never forget it. It was called The Judge. And it was about, in my church, and it was about how God says you don't judge people and all that stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
Here's this 12-year-old kid. I played the judge.
Okay.
And at the end of that play, this 12-year-old kid got a standing ovation from about, excuse me.
It's all right.
Kudos. He got a standing ovation from about 50 adults.
That's excellent.
Here
That's
is
gotta
this
be-
12-year-old kid that couldn't spell girls is getting a standing ovation from about 50 adults. At 72 years old, I'm still getting excited about that.
I was
feeling
about to say,
as a 12-year-old kid getting that.
I was just talking about things, and moments in your life that you remember.
Yes.
And that seems like one of those moments. Try to tell us what that felt like.
Okay. I'll tell you exactly how I have been able to explain this. I'm going to put it in, I'll just say it.
Yeah.
I mean, we have adult audience here, Tucker, I'm sure.
yes.
Yeah.
It was
Except
like,
us.
for liking to,
Except for me.
liking to explain it, but the way to explain it, the way I've explained it, it's like making love to the entire world and they're enjoying it.
Now that does sound like a good time.
That and the world, and they're enjoying it. At the time, I didn't know that.
I tried actually doing that in my 20s.
Somehow, that's just
Yeah, but it's kind of piecemeal. You can't
piecemeal. Yes. But as I grew up, that's the only way I could explain that.
That's a good That's a good analogy.
And
amazing.
I still, at 72, I still feel that feeling. I can know what it's like And that's when I decided to be an actor.
So starting at 12, and it's just
Yes.
it just got its hooks in you then.
Yes, I didn't want to be president of the United States. I didn't care if I got millions of dollars. I would do it for free.
I think we could be doing better off if you would have done that thing now.
Yeah, a lot better. But that's how I decided to be an actor, and it's amazing how you got to do what you love to do.
Now, have you experienced that with most of your cohorts, most of your companions there in the acting realm? That a lot of them start off young, or is it like a mishmash of
I think-
all a cornucopia of experiences that lead people to acting?
I find that people, they don't know what they want to do a lot of times.
Right.
They just fall into it, and that's what I have in this. Maybe, I don't know when I get into.
You can
it.
plug your book whenever.
Talk about plug it. Come on, plug.
One of my books, Go Home, A Guide to Achieving Your Goals While Dealing with Life's Inconveniences. It shows, one of the things it does, it's only 46 pages, but it shows you what I think I would say 95 to 99% of the world is something they don't know how to do. And that's find a career.
Right.
You're going to be making a living your entire life.
Well, sure.
So if you do anything your entire life, you doggone well better love it. Not like it, but love it.
No, I can hear him just fine.
No, but I mean, you need to listen.
Yeah, you gotta love what you do.
I'm doing what I love right now, Ace.
Well, okay, that is a good question. You're doing what you love.
Yeah.
Now, if you run it, it's very seldom that you will find people that say they love what they do.
Right.
I would say 95 to 99% of the world's population are stuck in a job because it pays the bills.
Yeah.
My dad, he spent 37 years, 6 months, and 19 days on a job he hated.
Wow, that was a very specific amount of
He got
time.
it down to the day.
Jeez Louise. Wow, okay.
37 years,
He was counting
6
hours.
months, and 19 days.
Like hashtags on the jail cell, you know?
Yeah,
Just-
yeah, I'm about to say, like it was a prison
exactly,
sentence.
because
Yeah.
he hated it that much. But I would say 95 to 99% of the world's population is stuck in that because they don't know how to find a career that they love. Now, you said you love what you do.
Right, I love this right
Okay,
here.
this
And
right
this
here.
is, we're interviewing you. How this
Well,
how does that come about me?
Well, because they're
Gary, can we
Because-
cut? I'm talking to my
Because
producer
it's
over
a
there.
conversation.
But Kim,
No, I'm just messing.
if you say, I'm glad you said that, because if you find somebody that say they love what they do,
Yeah.
you ask them 2 questions. The first question is going to prove whether they're bordering on loving it. They're just at the border. The second question is going to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt, where you will say, no, I don't like this, I'm sorry. Okay, the first question is going to prove whether you're bordering on it.
Okay.
This thing that you love to do, that we're doing, would you get up in the morning, do this, stay here and do this all day long if there was no money?
Absolutely.
Check, because we're already doing
Absolutely.
that.
Okay, you're doing it. Good answer.
Not that we're
Check.
against getting money from people. Somebody
But-
wants
Patreon.com.
But now
Yeah.
this sounds like you're gonna really answer number 2 right.
Oh, man,
and
I'm
you
so
seem like
nervous.
you're gonna be
Can I buy a vowel?
okay.
Can I phone a friend?
Can I phone a
I need a
friend?
lifeline. Let the man finish.
Final answer.
Okay. Question 2. This thing that you love to do, would you get up, come and do this, stay here all day long and do it, and pay them to do it?
Yeah, we're already doing that too.
Doing that too.
Yeah.
You love it.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of this equipment,
Yes.
the mics, the board,
They're all yours.
Yeah, that's all us.
See, okay, you love what you do.
Yeah.
Now, that's what I'm talking about.
All right.
Now, you ask people those 2 questions. If first of all, it's going to be very seldom that you're going to run into people that say they love what they do.
Sure.
It's going to be very seldom. So people might, well, you love it, I like it. No. Not like it.
Love is pretty cut and dry. You
It
either
is.
love something or
So,
you don't.
But then when you ask them that second question, it's going to be a heck no or yeah. No. But see, and as an actor, I would have paid them for 50 years
Wow.
to do what I'm doing and still about to do with The Righteous 12 and Avondale Pictures
That's awesome.
in December. So get to AvondalePictures.com and before this, well, actually as soon as you can, and hook up and maybe try to get in the film.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So let's. I'm gonna kind of fanboy it with you. Percentage, if you can percentage it out for me. You
Okay.
seem like that the type of person that has that kind of mind. As far as acting and working as a stuntman,
Okay. Stunt.
how much of each did you do?
Okay, I did very little stunts. I only did stunts about a couple of years. What happened was I was doing extra work, and I was doing this TV series, an old TV series. It only lasted one season. It was called 10 Speed and Brown Shoe in 1980
Oh, wait a
with
minute.
Jeff Goldblum and Ben Vereen.
Right. They were
was-
private investigators.
Yes.
Ben Vereen's awesome.
Ben Vereen was a fast talker, 10-speed guy. And Jeff
He's a triple
Goldblum
threat.
was a brown shoe because he was a stockbroker. And they got created by Stephen J. Cannell, who did the A-Team.
Yeah,
Greatest
he
American
did a
Hero.
lot of stuff.
Awesome.
One of the greatest writers, producers, directors I've ever met. He said something to me I'll never forget, not to jump around here.
Oh, that's
but
fine.
Stephen J.
Jump
Cannell
around.
said something to me that I will never forget. He said, "Why grow up when you can make movies?"
Oh man, that is a great
That's it.
quote.
Oh, I never forgot
That is a great
that.
quote.
And God bless him. He passed away, I
Right, he
think,
did.
in
Yeah.
2010. But anyway, I was doing 10 Speed and Brown Shoe with Ben Vereen and Jeff, two of my greatest people I've met. Ben Vereen and Jeff Goldblum, great guys. But and what happened was the stunt work. I got into stunt work. I was actually Ben Vereen's stand-in. I think you know what a stand-in
Yeah.
is. You're the star until they set
Right.
while they're setting the lights on.
Yeah,
So I
they
was-
light you because you're a similar height, similar
Exactly.
build, and, yeah.
So I was
Similar
Ben
skin
Vereen.
tone.
Yeah, you go. So I was Ben Vereen's stand-in, and then Dennis Madelone, who was the stunt coordinator, a little stunt started coming up. Like I jumped out of the way of a bus, driven by Alan Alney, one of the top black stunt guys in the business, and that was kind of okay. And then I did I was a passenger in a stunt car. Kind of almost got wiped out in this stunt car.
Oh goodness.
And so that was kind of amazing. So
Yeah, well, let's stop and talk about that. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The stunt thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Chris Doyle was a stunt guy driving the car, and I was dressed up as a police officer, and we're police officers, and we're sitting in this police car, and we're sitting in this alley, and we're supposed to see Ben and Jeff's car go speeding by the mouth of the alley, and then we hit the lights and come out and make a left and start chasing after. And the camera's sitting in the middle of the street, and there's a lot of people behind the camera and
Sure.
everything. And so the stunt driver, Chris Doyle, said, "Hey, Alex, get on the walkie-talkie and ask the director on 11, what are we supposed to do when we come out of the alley chasing them?" He said, "Make a left at the first left." Simple. Okay, make a left at the first left.
Almost too simple.
Right, exactly. It was too simple. So what happened? They said, "Are you ready in the stunt car?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, roll cameras." Roll cameras, rolling. You see Ben and Jeff's car fly by the mouth of the alley. And we come out of the alley, Chris makes a left, and he's flying down the street. There is no left.
Oh goodness.
There
Slow
is
ways.
no left.
Picking up speed, no left.
And you do not, in the middle of a stunt, start, wait a minute, but there's no left. What are we going to do? Confusing that stunt man that's driving that car.
Right.
My ass is in that car too. So I have to sit there, but my mind is working 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Your pucker factor's about.
There's no left. And all this is in my head, and it's going 1,000,000 miles an hour, but there's no left. What are we going to do? I mean, if I was a stunt driver, I would pass the camera and then look for the left. But there's millions of people behind the camera. What are we going to do? And I'm saying, hey, I got to pass the camera and find that left. The people are going to move. But the people aren't even supposed to be in the street. What are we going to do?
Uh-oh.
So, okay. Now, Chris, come to find out, the stunt driver, he was going to do the same thing. He was going to pass the camera and hope those people moved. And he would have killed all those people in the street, most of those people in the street.
Oh, man.
But thank God, the director, Arnold Lackland, saw that we couldn't make our right because it was his left. And he was standing behind the camera waving us to his left.
I stage left, guys. Jeez.
Which would have been camera.
Right.
Left.
Camera left.
Yeah.
So it would have been your right.
All right.
Yeah.
And so Chris, when he saw, if Arnold would have waited 1,000th of a second longer before he started waving us to his left, all those people, a lot of those people in that street would have died.
Wow.
And when Chris saw him waving us to his left, Chris goes, "Oh shit!" Starts turning to the left. The car almost flipped over, went up on the sidewalk. We almost wiped out houses. It looked great.
I was about to say that's a great take. I know the director was like, print it.
But
Exactly.
That was a big time print there, buddy.
Check the gate,
But
print it.
You didn't say check the gate.
I said check the
He
gate.
said check the gate.
He's
told you, I'm a
also a
fanboy.
Renaissance
I'm a
man.
fanboy.
Yeah, no, he knows his movie lingo,
Do
man.
you know, since I've been in Tucson 2 years, no one has ever said, under any circumstances to me, check the gate.
That's funny. I actually,
That is hilarious.
I would say about 10 years ago, I had a Facebook post because I was watching a guy, because I used to do a little photography, and
Yeah.
I was watching my favorite band, and this photographer was coming by, and he was taking pictures of them, and with the new digital cameras now, they have the display.
Yeah.
And you can look at what you just shot in the display. So he's checking the gate.
Gate checking.
And it was annoying because it's like you're missing stuff. Just
Yeah.
shoot your shots.
Yeah.
Check the gate later.
Yeah.
So, I just kind of mumble because I tend to say things out loud instead of just saying them in my
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
And I was like, dude, stop checking the gate. So
He's like, excuse me?
Yes.
and actually, that's kind of the way it was. So he made
Yes.
sure he actually took a picture of me. It was very unflattering. He said it to me. He's like, "What do you think?" I was like, "I think you made me look really ugly. Thanks. I'll never tell you to not check the gate again."
I love it.
So you're acting and you're having a great time, and now I'm seeing that you got a couple of books here. They look like
yes.
they look like things to help one out. Stuff
Absolutely.
to help you out throughout your daily life. There, what made you want to start writing, or is that just you always hear all directors want to act, all actors
Yes.
want to direct, and is there do you run into a lot of your friends in LA and stuff like that also want to write books, or are you one in a million?
Not necessarily books. A lot of the people I know, they do screenplays.
Of course.
I have a few screenplays and scripts for TV series and
Well, give him to
stuff.
Adrian. He'll get a green light, man.
Hey,
I'm absolutely sure he knows more people than I do.
but they're all back in LA, and a lot of them from
Yeah.
back in days ago, and a lot of them are dead or they're not.
Right.
And the business has changed so much from when I was.
Yeah.
Because right now you can make a Steven Spielberg type movie ready for theaters. You can make it on your telephone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm used to the
Which I've
big
actually thought about
Panavisions.
doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, do it.
It has crossed the
Yeah,
mind.
I'm used to the Panavisions and
Yeah.
the other stuff. But now I understand they have it's I don't know, procedure. It's on tape, I think it is, which I think the quality of it is awful to me.
Yeah, well,
And-
Like
there's,
magnetic tape?
There's digital video.
Oh, okay.
And
it takes
if
a lot,
you
cuts a
have
lot of the
seen the
editing and
movie,
stuff.
if you've seen the movie Collateral, it's
No.
Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx.
Oh yes, where he's a driver, taxi driver.
Yeah,
Is that
right.
where he's a
Jamie
taxi-
Foxx is a taxi driver.
I
Yeah,
did see that.
That's all shot in
Yes,
digital
it
video.
was. And do you know something? I hated the look of that film.
Did you?
I hated the look of the film.
Yeah, 'cause
Jamie
it's actually a
Foxx is
good movie.
As a matter of fact, it's a good movie.
And Michael Mann's one of my favorite
Michael
directors.
Mann. But a lot of his stuff is digital. Is
Yeah,
shot. He did.
he adopted it early and then he never let it go.
and he
yeah.
he did the Johnny Depp gangster one.
Donnie Brasco.
yeah,
Yeah.
Nebraska.
But there was a 1920 one he did too.
Oh, yeah,
Shootout.
yeah, the one,
Not public.
No.
Enemy, but he was a 1920s gangster.
Right.
And it was shootout with
And
the
it was a
Thompson
flop.
machine gun. Yes.
yeah.
Not Ed Wood,
Sorry,
but-
Johnny.
But
it was
Johnny
a flop.
Depp did it.
Yeah.
Not Ed
But,
Wood, but
No.
No, it was a 1920s
You guys keep talking,
gangster.
I'll find
I
it.
think it was a remake. But anyway, he did that. But and Jamie Foxx, that was a great film. As a matter of fact, I gotta give kudos to Jamie Foxx. I did Dreams Girl with Jamie Foxx, and I hadn't seen Jamie Foxx. I did a few episodes of the Jamie Foxx show, and
Go on.
and I hadn't seen him since we did Dreamgirls. And I kudos to Jamie Foxx. My hats off to him. All of that. I respect that man so much. He tried very hard to get me a TV series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a TV series called The Golden Boys. Because on his Jamie Foxx show, me and Ellis Williams and a few other guys, I can't remember the guys' names, but we played old army buddies of Jamie Foxx, of Garrett Morris, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah,
was
Garrett
up there on the
Morris,
show.
yeah.
We were his army buddies, and we came in on the show. I can't think of these other guys' names. But anyway.
It'll come to you when you're trying to get to sleep tonight.
Exactly. At 3 in the morning.
Let me call him up.
Yes. But Jamie Foxx wanted that show to spin off of his show into our own show. He actually introduced us, the Golden Boys, into his audience.
Oh, wow.
As having our own TV show the next season on the WB.
Wow.
But for some reason, the suits at Warner Brothers didn't go for it. But Jamie, I love you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and we definitely hope you're listening.
Yes,
and watching.
absolutely.
That would be
And
amazing.
don't stop watching.
Yeah, and just to backtrack, it was Public Enemies.
Public
Okay,
Enemy.
there we go.
Yes,
There we
yes,
go.
yes.
So let's circle back around to writing.
Okay,
When did
yes.
you write your first, and which one of these was your first?
My book, Go Home, A Guide to Achieving Your Goals While Dealing with Life's Inconveniences. That was my first thing. I did it in 2012, and it is so simple. It's only 46 pages, and I really believe, I don't know if I mentioned this, I think kids need to read that book, because in the book it shows how extremely simple it is to find a career that you would either do for free or you would pay to do. And 95 to 99.9 of the population of the world
Right.
is stuck in a job that they hate, but it pays the bills.
Right.
Because nobody knows how to look within you. Ask anybody, do you know how to look within yourself to find a job, a career, not a job? It's not a job.
And that is the big difference.
Kind of like staying in a relationship at a convenience.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, instead of being with somebody or something that you
Absolutely.
actually love.
Yes.
You know, okay.
That's exactly
That's why
what
it took me
because-
so long to find the one I found.
Because you're going to have a relationship.
buddy.
Because you're going to have a relationship with that job, buddy.
Oh, that's it.
You know, and it shouldn't be a job.
It
It's a good
causes you.
career.
It causes you the same trials and tribulations that a relationship would. You know, you stuck with somebody you don't like. You get ulcers. You get panic attacks. You
Absolutely.
get stress. Same thing with a job that you don't enjoy. You know,
And-
and so. Go ahead.
People don't know how to look within themselves and find that career that they would pay to do. And if you and it's not about the money. When we look for a job, we go, are you working for the post office? Can you get me on? Are they hiring?
Benefits.
Yes.
All this stuff.
Oh yeah, this has dental. Oh, this one doesn't have dental.
Right.
And you know, you don't, or you look and say, well, this job pays $5 more a week, $10 more a week, and it's not about the money. It's about whether you love that. You would do it for free anyway.
Sounds like you really
It's not about the money.
advocate a higher quality of life rather than a higher
Absolutely.
quantity.
Life is so much fun. I have fun, for no reason at all.
And that's going to be important because one of the things we've talked about on this podcast, and it's been bounced around all over the political sphere, is that there are going to be fewer and fewer jobs to do
Oh yes.
because automation is coming, robots are coming. They're
They're
not even
here.
coming; they're here.
Yeah, robots,
Exactly.
robots are here.
Yeah.
I can tell you a story about a robot.
Oh well, let's
Give us
hear
a
it.
robot story.
I was thumbing.
This
on
is
my,
awesome.
I was on my computer, and you know I'm going through stuff on the computer, and I'm scrolling down, and I passed this great picture. It was this gorgeous, you know, it had a nice tight shot of this woman, and I'm scrolling down. I went back. Whoa, wait a minute, who was that?
Right.
And I went back and said, oh, I gotta see who this is. I'm thinking it's a actress is starring in and they're promoting a new movie.
Right, a model,
I said,
something,
or something.
spokesperson.
Hey, I'm going to see this movie tonight. This woman here is great. So I got back to it, and it was a video, and I clicked on the start of the video. It was a robot.
It was not. Yep.
She was standing there saying, "Hello."
Wasn't even a real person.
I'm Julie. I am a robot.
It's a droid.
And she was gorgeous.
Yep.
Oh man, I said this is
The dangers of
insane.
artificial intelligence.
Scared me, buddy, because I could have gotten caught big time. So yeah, they're here, man. They're absolutely here. So, and another thing I talk about in my book, Go Home, it's like, how many kids have spent thousands and thousands of dollars of their parents' money going to college, and they get out and go, wait a minute,
I don't want to do that.
yes, I hate this. Because they didn't use the procedure in this book, Go Home, to find a career that they would do for free.
I can tell you right now that when you go to school in the public school system, at least when I was there, might have been a little bit after you guys, but still, it's still in America. It's a business model. They definitely ram it down your throat.
Yes.
Like, hey, if you don't go to college, you're going to be strung out on the street.
Yes.
Don't worry. And then there's also this kind of fallacy about this unskilled labor, like plumbers and stuff. And it's like, no, that is a
very
skill.
skilled
That's a
labor.
very
That
skilled.
is super
skilled
Let's
labor,
let's see a suit, from DC come down and check
clean
my
my
backflow
pipes.
valve and
Yeah.
or wire my new amp switch into my electric panel.
Yes.
No, there is no such thing as unskilled labor. But you're right, especially now. I think. Maybe because of how easy it is to communicate to each other, a lot of young folks are starting to realize, hey, some of this, required debt is what I call it. It's BS, man.
Yeah,
it's
it
BS.
is. It is. But when you find that career, I gotta keep saying this because people, I'm telling you, the world can't figure out how to look within themselves to find out what they love.
Your positivity is infectious. You
that's amazing.
need to, and we'll help you out with this if you want. I mean, not that you probably know people way better than us at this, but you should be a motivational speaker, man. You should be
I have
going to
heard that.
people and rallying the troops, man.
You turn these books into a speaking tour.
Yeah.
Back in Los Angeles, I used to speak at Grant High School for I think 5 years. I had the career class that I would speak to. One problem I had. Okay, both these books are written from a Christian perspective.
That's fine.
Okay, and in the Los Angeles schools, you can't mention God.
Right.
And I had a little bit of a problem with that. But so I was kind of restricted a little bit. So I spoke a couple times in Christian schools where I could speak about, I could say the word God.
Right.
But motivation, I hear that quite a bit.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you have your own thing, you can make
You
it
say
Christian
whatever
or
you want.
Muslim or whatever
Yeah,
you want it to be.
exactly.
Make your own religion. Just
And
go
you-
L. Ron Hubbard on it.
We got folkism coming down the pipe, everybody.
See, he's already named it for you. There you go.
That one's for free.
Yeah,
That one's free. Okay.
absolutely.
Until later,
Yeah.
when he's rich, and you're like, well, I kind of named this.
Absolutely amazing. But I really think kids, you need to get them early and teach them, like I said, how to find out what they want to do early,
Right.
so they won't go to college and take something that they spend thousands of dollars and come out and hate it, because you already know you love it.
Right.
Exactly.
And this book is, well, both books basically are so simple. It tells you how simple God made life.
I got you.
We create problems. Example, which is in my book, Go Home. I was in a restaurant, maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And there was a family maybe 15 feet away in the restaurant. They were sitting down eating, so the dad put some butter on his 4-year-old kid's toast and gave it to him. That kid, and a little kid's voice you can hear it 15 blocks.
Oh
away.
yeah, they sound off.
They sound. This kid got his piece of toast with just butter on it. He started screaming, falling out, fell on the floor, and they had to take him out, or people were threatening to leave that
He was
restaurant.
disturbing everybody else. Yeah.
They're calling the police.
Yes, you almost had to call the police. This kid was going crazy so bad, and he was going crazy because Dad did not put jelly on his toast before he gave it to him.
It was probably more about Dad and Mom not disciplining him
Oh,
enough.
if I would have had a dream about thinking about doing that,
Right.
I wouldn't be alive today. But what happened? A lot of people would say things like, "Oh, well, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't make that kind of trouble over nothing like that." But now that most of us has matured, think back on some of the things you got mad about, or went crazy about, or wanted to fight about, or got mad at the wife or kids about because they spilled milk on the floor, whatever.
Sure.
Well,
Think
there's
about
even-
some of that stuff, and I will be willing to bet, now that you're mature, you'll be able to say, that was kind of like no jelly on toast.
Yeah, and there's some contemporaneous examples of that on social media when you get into these arguments with people about, XYZ.
Over less than nothing.
Yes.
Not nothing.
And I will
less
admit that I'm very guilty of that sometimes.
Same here. It's easy to. They design it to be addictive.
Because we don't realize how simple life is. God made life so simple, infant babies understand. We are the
Making
idiots.
some good points here,
Like, feed me,
Alex.
I gotta poop. Okay.
Yeah, we are the idiots, man.
You're making some good points.
I mean, it's like, we'll go to Harvard and Yale and Ivy League schools. We'll get degrees on the wall and become stupid.
Well,
We forget life.
I think a lot of that comes from, as you do progress through this life, you become a little bit cynical. Some life happens to you. You experience some tragedy, but like you said, you can still keep it simple within the confines of doing what you love. If you do what you love,
Absolutely.
some of these things that maybe would have set you back 5 years, 10 years, if you're doing what you really are passionate about, you're still going to hurt and you still have to heal, but it'll be a quicker, more effective process. Now, Adrian and I both have experiences with church and Christianity and stuff, and I'm speaking for you, I'm sorry, but I do know you a little bit.
A little bit.
We kind of get jaded sometimes because it seems that it's evolved into a very, about condemnation.
Yes.
At least the popular, what you see on,
Absolutely. YouTube or whatever.
Well, they never. You don't report the plane that lands safely. You got to report the drama. You got
All the
to.
time.
Because that's what gets the clicks. That's what gets the channels. You are coming from a theist, a belief system that seems very proactive in positivity and engaging. Instead of being afraid of life, engaging with life and loving life.
Absolutely.
See, well, we need more of that.
If something springs from anything that springs from love and life is going to be wonderful. Something which is in my book, and if I will kiss every butt in this town if you can tell me this is wrong. Well, wait a minute, I take that back. I'll kiss every female butt in this town.
Say,
I'm straight. Let's straighten this out.
did you see these people on your way here, man?
You drove here, right?
Yeah.
But okay, if somebody has a problem and you can fix it, what's the problem?
Right.
Why do you don't go through a thousandth of a second of screaming and yelling and fighting and going to jail and getting mad at people and screaming at the kids and the wife? Don't spend a thousandth of a second doing that. Cut to the chase and start the fixing process. It's simple.
We need to go back to that part where you said you didn't want to be president of the United States.
I was about to say, let's just start doing a docu on this right here, right now, man. This guy's all right. I think you found my replacement, actually. I'm going to go ahead and take off.
He's always trying to quit.
And think about it. If you have something that you think is a problem and you can't fix it, What's the problem? You can't fix it anyway.
Yeah, move on to the next
What are
thing.
you beating your head against the wall?
Say right now, amen.
If you have something you think is a problem, our only thing we have to do, if we have something we think is a problem, this is about life or anything. If you have something you think is a problem, our only choice is, our only chore is to find out what category this thing fits in. Does it fit into the I can't fix this category? Then shut up and sit down.
There you go, compartmentalizing
Yes,
again.
there you go. And
Hey, it
if
worked
you-
for the guy, man.
And if you can fix it, shut up and fix it. Simple.
I dig it.
It is, and that is life, period. That is our only choice.
Once again, go home. And that's and it's not no, just go home. What made you
Okay.
come up with the title then?
Okay, good.
How'd you arrive at
Good
go
question.
home?
Because home never changes. I think, which talks about in the book, I think people need to change the word goal for home. For home, because I'll tell you why. If you have a goal, okay, when I leave here from this podcast, my goal today is to go to the movies. But if I walk out there and it was snowing and like it was 2 days ago,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
going home, buddy.
right.
Nothing gonna stop me from going home.
Gotcha.
Your goals can change. We should all have goals, big and small, every day. Like when I'm acting, maybe one of my goals today is go to the cleaners and get my suit out of the cleaners for the audition again. Right. Then my other goal is I'm gonna fill up the car with gas. Then so you have these little small goals. Some of them are big, but you have them all every day. But each one of those goals is getting you home to where you're supposed to be. I look at the goals as fueling stations. They're not finish lines. Home is the finish line.
Right.
I got you.
It is so simple. You just go home.
I'm starting to think that this guy is a ghostwriter for all the Bob Dylan songs.
Bob Dylan's. I like Bob Dylan did make sense.
He made a lot of sense in his early
he did.
days.
It is so simple. It's like, and the other thing I have in my book here, how it's impossible to fail. With one rule, it's all in that 46-page book.
Crammed with wisdom.
Go home, a guide to achieving your goals while dealing with life's inconveniences. Because the things we think are problems are basically our problems in life. Now, come on now.
Oh, sure.
Like the people in concentration camp, they had problems.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
those
they had
are problems.
Those are
Yeah,
problems.
big time.
Yeah,
But I mean,
sometimes it's
no
always
jelly
about
on
perspective.
toast. Now, come on now, buddy. Give me a break. But, wait a minute, I had a point that I was going to make about that. But, there aren't any problems, basically. They're mostly inconveniences.
Right.
But
I-
home, get up and go home.
Amen.
And
So,
about not failing.
Yep.
The question about how it is impossible
Yeah.
to fail. And here's again, if you can tell me that it's not true, I'll, well, you know what I'm saying. But, okay, it's like, it's impossible to fail.
I like that.
And I'll give you an example. Let's say you leave here today and you're walking in New York. No matter how slow you are walking, if you're walking one step every 5 minutes, but you stay on the road to New York, and you don't say, no, I'm going to Texas, no, I'm going to Wyoming, no, I'm going here. Now, you may have to make a detour and go this way, or you're going to have to get off the road to get you some sleep, get
Sure.
you something to eat. But if you go get you something to eat, and then fall in love with the girl in the diner, and then you have children, now you're not getting to New York. But if your home is New York,
Right.
and you stay on the road to New York, you do those detours, whatever you got to do, but you get back on that road, and you stay on that road to New York. I will kiss every butt in this female butt.
Female bud.
In this time.
I'm gonna segue to your second book, by the way, on that one.
Yes, please. Yeah, that is a great segue. How, if you stay on that road, it is impossible for you not to get where the road leads.
right.
Advocating
impossible.
focus.
Yes, very much. And when I tell you, I was speaking in Los Angeles schools, Grand High School in Los Angeles, and I asked some of the kids. I said, and one kid raised his hand. He said, "No, it's impossible. No, it's not impossible to fail." He said, "What if you die on the road home?" I said, "Very good question.
Yeah.
Very good question. If you die on the road home, first of all, that means you got off the road. Second of all, now you are in your ultimate home.
Oh, yeah.
That's the home you're going to, no matter what.
Right.
So you
We all got the same home in
we're
that
all-
aspect.
We're all going to end up in the same
You're
place. yeah.
still going home, man.
Gotcha.
Impossible for you not to get there. But wouldn't you rather die on the way home than on the
course.
road to nowhere?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a beautiful analogy.
Because if you, I mean, okay, let's say I leave here and I'm saying I'm going home, and I know home is north. Would I ever go out and say, "Oh, I'm looking north where home is. Oh, it's cloudy. Let me go south." And south, where you going south?
You're not
No
gonna get
matter
there.
what it takes, rain, shine, sleet, or snow. If you think you're the only one left in the world, you're going home and check.
And I can actually relate to what you're saying about if you were to die before you got home, because I was just flying recently. I was out of town in Texas, and I've always had a varying level degree of fear of flying.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And the
I
more I,
think
travel,
everybody does.
the more I travel, the less it gets. I actually
Right.
I love flying now, but on the way out, I definitely don't want to die. I want to,
Yeah.
So on the way home, it's like, okay, I'm headed home. I'm going to be fine. But if I'm not fine, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're going home anyway.
You're going home.
Anyway, and you're not taking anything with you.
The brain's a tricky customer. It's like that.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm going to go back to being a fanboy for a little bit. When you hear interviews with people who are in the industry, we'll call it Hollywood or whatever you want to call it, you're always hearing nothing but glowing, "Oh, he was great to work with, that person was..."
Yeah.
Let's come off of that. Come on. I know you probably have, and you're good at compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you about two groups of people. Who did you love working with? And you don't have to name any names.
Right.
With the loves, I would name names.
Yeah.
Who did you love working with, and who was a jerk, and why?
Okay.
Or at least if you don't feel comfortable naming names, like maybe a production you were on that was.
Yeah.
Well,
that was
like
a
I
thorn in
said,
your
with the,
side.
with the love part, I'm sure you'll want to name
Yeah.
names. You
Oh,
already
yeah,
did the Jamie
absolutely.
Foxx. But
Yeah.
and if you, with the people that were jerks, if you don't want to mention their names, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you can kind of give us examples of what it was like.
Yes.
Okay, good question. Okay, as far as people I like, when I first got into business, I was Jeff Goldblum.
Sure.
Big
Marie.
Green,
Yeah.
Great people. I mean, hey guys, I really would like to say hello to you guys again. But that was 1980. I don't know if Jeff is out there doing his thing.
He's wild, man. He jumps all over the place. You never know where he might be in here for all you know. That's how he is.
Sneak up
with
on
his
you.
band. He'll throw his band.
That's
up in
right.
there.
He's not bad either.
And I think Leslie Nielsen was a.
Oh,
rest
Leslie
in
Nielsen, I
peace.
did Nick-
one of my favorites,
I did
Leslie
Naked Gun
Nielsen.
2.5 with him. He was a blast to work with. Absolutely.
He is the perfect, dry witticism.
Yes.
I mean, he doesn't have to have any
And-
tonal inflection. You're still laughing your butt off.
And he was so incredibly talented because comedy was actually
His
his second.
yes.
Yeah, that's right.
He was a serious
He was a
actor.
serious
right.
actor.
He
Yes, he
played
was.
murderers and
Yeah.
stuff.
And
you
cops.
believed him.
Yeah.
A couple westerns,
Yeah.
and yeah.
He was the leading man a couple of times.
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen, he said to me, he said, after Naked Gun 2.5, he said, after these Naked Gun movies, he'll never do another serious role.
He had too much
He
fun.
never-
Too much fun, yeah.
Yeah, he never, and people believed him so much in those. And, I'm trying to think of someone else, like I said, Jamie Foxx, kudos to him. And, that is a very good question. Off the top of my head, most of the people I worked with was pretty good.
That's a great thing to say.
I'll tell you the other thing too. When you love life you're going to see things in even
In a different way, yeah.
even the ass buckets
Right.
that is not going to be that is still
God dang.
that is still kind of nice.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
And,
like I
and
said,
it's also very professional.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're professional.
absolutely.
And
So-
they get.
You ever get starstruck by anybody? I mean, because you have proximity to all this talent, has there ever been a moment where you're like, holy crap?
When I worked with Steven Spielberg, I did Catch Me If You Can with Steven Spielberg. I had
Cool.
one scene with Steven Spielberg. I got cut out. I don't know if you remember Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I was in the
DiCaprio,
scene.
Hanks,
Yeah.
The
I
con
was in
man.
Yes,
Yeah,
the con
yeah.
man,
Yeah,
Leonardo
actually,
DiCaprio.
that's a true story. And that
Yes,
guy,
it is.
Yeah,
It is.
I can't remember the name of the
guy,
gentleman, but he worked. He actually,
He actually
did
worked for the
working
FBI.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he did
For
all
counterfeiting.
And now he runs a private security
Well,
company.
anyway,
So
I
rad.
played. I don't. You remember the scene where Leonardo DiCaprio is walking down the street, and these two airline pilots, with these stewardesses, get out of this limousine and they go in this hotel.
Right.
And Leonardo DiCaprio is standing across. He follows them in the hotel, and he's standing across the lobby of the hotel, and he's looking at this pilot, and this pilot is signing autographs, and
Right.
people are coming up to him, and he's looking, and I'm pushing this luggage cart. And the camera's on Leonardo DiCaprio, and I push this luggage cart. I come behind him on his left, and I'm pushing this luggage cart. Then I come around on his right, and I'm pushing the luggage cart past him. And Leonardo DiCaprio stops me, and he says, "Excuse me, sir, is that pilot famous?" And I said, "No, you're just an airline jerk.
Yeah.
Just because you fly at 30,000 feet doesn't make you God." And then I walk off.
Yeah.
And then Leonardo DiCaprio's thinking about that. And then he decided to become,
Right.
he decides to impersonate an airline pilot. So I helped Leonardo DiCaprio decide to become an airline pilot.
Gotcha.
You don't, but what happened was you see this in the movie, not unless it's in the, sometimes they put deleted scenes in the
Right. In the
You get your
DVD or
extras.
yeah, I don't know if it's in there or not because I don't have the DVD. But what happens is what I did was the scene is there, and Leonardo DiCaprio's watching the airline pilot, and just as you see the gold poles of my luggage
cart.
cart coming into frame,
Cut.
they cut.
Dang
So
it.
you never see my line.
Yeah.
Darn
So
it.
But,
it was
but the question is, Steven Spielberg is tough. He's in my face and he's going, "Okay, Alex." So when Leo comes by you and you seeing this, you look at him like, in my head, I'm going, "Steven Spielberg, man. I'm working with someone.
The biggest big shot.
I'm saying,
Close
and
him
then
down
I'm
to the
thinking,
third guy.
every time I
Schindler's
see the
List.
word directed by Steven Spielberg,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was directed by Steven
Yes, you were.
Spielberg.
So you consider that an incredible honor?
Yes. Although they cut me out of the film, I think it's still on my IMDb, and I get. Oh, the other thing too is if they cut you out of the movie, they don't have to send you residuals.
Oh, really?
They don't have to.
Really?
But I still give residuals to Catch Me If You Can.
Hey, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Now I gotta give a couple of kudos to them because that was Seabiscuit they did this. I did Seabiscuit.
Yeah.
Well, I got
Tobey
hired.
Maguire, yeah.
I
So
got
essentially,
hired in
it-
Seabiscuit, but I never shot the film.
If you've been alive in the last 50 years and seen any movies or TV, you've seen Mr. Alexander Pohl.
Oh, I certainly hope so.
So
Is that-
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this. Even though you're overwhelmingly positive, because you came up in the generation that you came up, Hollywood has absolutely always been a different place than the
Yes,
rest
it
of the
has.
world. But was there any racism?
Oh, big time, big time. When I first got into business, there was for people of color, the jobs were like few and far in between. As a matter of fact, I did. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I don't have it with me. Are you familiar with the Black Stuntmen's Association?
I am not.
I'm
Well,
not, but
no one is.
I am because I've researched you.
Okay.
So-
Oh, okay. So I have the jacket and everything. But if you get a chance, research the Black Stuntmen's Association and how that came about. Eddie Smith, rest his soul. That was quite a guy. Eddie Smith, he was working on, I forgot, I don't know, I'm going to say Hello Dolly.
Right.
It was
Okay.
back in the day.
Oh,
I don't know.
way to name drop.
So I don't know if that was the film, but I think it was Hello Dolly or Mad Mad World or one of those. Eddie Smith was doing extra work. He did extra work on the movie. And he saw the director was painting down a white stunt guy to double, I think it was Rochester Anderson. He was painting down a white stunt guy to double Eddie Rochester Anderson. And Eddie Smith went, whoa. And he went to the director of it. He was directing, and he said, hey, what are you doing painting down this white guy to do double a stunt guy? The director said, doesn't it make a lot of sense? He said, give me a black stuntman and I'll hire him.
So you're looking at me.
No kidding.
There wasn't any, and Eddie Smith went home, got his people in the neighborhood, and started training them for stunts. That's how the Black Stuntmen's Association came about.
That's a really great story.
And the Black Stuntmen's Association is now in the new museum in Washington, the one that made like a slave ship or something that was just opened, last year or a year or so ago? The Black Stuntmen, but now the Black Stuntmen's Association doesn't exist anymore. The Black Stunt guys, they have now all gotten into the white stuntmen's.
No, it's just stuntmen.
It's just,
But they're all stuntmen.
Yeah.
Right. Stunts Unlimited, Stunt Association, whatever. But yeah, that's how it started. But
guarantee there's a whole bunch of them Black Panther.
oh yes, you better believe it. Yeah. So no, it's racism.
No, Huey was on IMDb.
Yeah, but racism. Yeah, it wasn't. Jobs for people of color they were few and far in between.
But how about even after you had the job? I mean, you gave the one example of there not being any black stuntmen. But once you're actually on set, in the earlier days, was it like you had to drink out of that water fountain? And,
well, only in the movies they would do that. That was part of the script.
Sure.
But the other thing is they would always kind of write things for people of color, or whatever, that wasn't quite that good. I mean, we were always pimps, hustlers, drug dealers, somebody terrible.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, another actor named Nicholas Coaster. I don't know if he's still alive, God bless him. Nicholas Coaster, I was on the set of Dukes of Hazzard. And the scene was Nicholas Coaster was supposed to walk in this black bar. It was predominantly black. And he was supposed to open the door and see all these black people and say, no, I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there.
Sure.
And he went to the director and said, wait a minute. I mean, I can't just open that door and just see black people and get scared. I mean, you got to give me a reason for being scared of these people.
Other than just difference of complexion.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not going to do that. He said, give me a reason not to go in there, but I'm not going to open that door and just see black people and freak out.
Yeah.
He said, what are you saying?
Because Dukes of Hazzard was being produced in the late 70s, early 80s, correct?
Yes.
And that's a little bit past,
You went past that time.
So it's kind of reinforcing this
That's what Nicholas said.
BS Crow stuff,
He said, I'm not going to do that, man.
That's
You
awesome.
got to give, and I salute him to this day.
Absolutely.
That I was on the set when he did it.
That's great.
Yeah. So there are some great stories out there. I love it, and I respect people like that.
Well, we love that you were on here, and we're going to have you on again at some point, I hope.
Oh, I certainly hope so.
Tell everybody how they can find you.
I can. I'm on IMDb. I'm on my email address too. I don't do a lot of
Social media.
Social media. At 72 years old, I can't even spell social media.
I think you can. I really do.
I'm at.
I'm a great PA. I'm a great personal assistant.
I love it.
Pay me and
But
pay me in stories, for God's sake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In
But
wisdom.
if anybody want to, I'm at see you in the movies at gmail.com.
See you in the movies.
Yeah, CUNDA movies@gmail.com. See
right.
you in
And
God.
tell us the name of your books again.
Oh, my book. My book is called Go Home, A Guide to Achieving Your Goals While Dealing with Life's Inconveniences, and Women, God's Second Greatest Gift to Humanity.
You did mention women a couple times, and
Yes.
they are great.
I had to write
personally,
that book
I can't get
because
enough of
they
them.
are so wonderful. I had to write a book.
Well, thank you
We'll
for
talk
coming.
about this book the next time you're on.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
want to leave a little teaser for our audience, the millions out there that are listening to this, that we will have a follow-up with Mr. Folk, and we're going to talk more about him and his incredible journey up to the present through God, just a career that seems to span decades and in talent venues, directing, stuntman.
Yeah.
I honestly think like you're
Inspirational speaker.
Yeah.
I feel like getting out today and like
Yeah, let's go do some.
let's go do something with our lives.
I'm gonna end my part of the podcast now with what I always end it with. I love you, Tracy.
All right.
All right, and again, Mr. Folk, we can't thank you enough for showing up today,
appreciate
hanging out
it.
with us in a dusty saloon. We
love it.
look forward to seeing you all next time on School of Hard Thoughts. Until then, be kind to each other, treat each other nice. It's a rough world out there, and we can make it all a little easier on each other, and we love you.
God bless.